Hello everyone, welcome to another edition here of the Ohio Guys. We are in location in Chicago, Illinois for Con Elite, and today I'm joined by Derek Stephen Prince. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Not a problem.
So we got a few questions we would like to ask you.
Okay.
First of all, what's it like working in the industry today?
What's it like working in the industry today, as opposed to when I first started out, which was like 22 years ago? It's a lot more competitive. Not that it wasn't competitive back then, but it's extremely more competitive now because of how big anime has become. Now, back then, anime was just a small side thing, that people knew about. Unless you were really into it, you didn't know about it. And there were a number of voiceover actors that were in the industry who were involved in that. But, it was still flexible in a way where there was a lot of opportunity for potential voiceover actors like myself who had never done something to get into the business. Now, especially with popular shows like Naruto, where you have celebrity actors who want to do stuff like that for their kids so their kids can watch it. You've got all this additional amount of talent. I say talent loosely, but talent that now want to get into the anime industry, so that for actors not like myself, because this is not the only thing that I rely on as far as income goes, but for actors who totally rely on this for their income and support their livelihood, it gets frustrating at times. Absolutely.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. But, if you're in it for the long haul, if you're willing to take your licks and keep getting up off the ground when you keep getting knocked down, and keep going out there and just constantly go out there just reinventing yourself, which is what you have to do, then there's definitely opportunity for anybody.
Now it's called perseverance.
Yep, it is. It's all about perseverance.
All right, next question. What is your favorite show you have worked on?
Favorite show that I have worked on? Show, not video game, correct?
Anything.
Okay, so if I had to pick a favorite show, it's hard to pick one because, and I'm sure you get this answer a lot by voiceover actors, we invest a lot of ourselves into each character that we do. It's hard. It's like saying, who's your favorite kid, right? Who's your favorite child? They all have different qualities about them that make them who they are and unique. I can't necessarily just pick one. But if I had to divide it between two of them, then I would say absolutely without a doubt the first one would be Season 2 of Digimon, Kenichi Joji. The second one would probably be Bleach, Uryu Ishida. Yeah. As far as video games go, probably the most fun that I've had, although I have fun on all of them, but the most fun that I've had as far as voicing a character would probably be Vexen from Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. So, yeah, and yeah.
All right, right on. All right, next question. What was it like working on Monster?
Monster. Out of all the shows that I've done, unfortunately, I would have to say that was not one of my least favorite, because it was very well written, and it was directed by an incredible actor/director, Patrick Seitz. But at that point in time in my life, what I was going through personally, I felt that I lost a part of what I could have brought to the character, to make him more well-rounded in terms of who he was. Not that he wasn't good, but there was like a disassociation. Whenever I was going in to do my recording every 2 hours, it's almost like I was disconnected from the character's perspective, when normally I get really involved in each of the characters that I do. So it's hard, that was like one of those, just like if I had to go back and I had to re-record something from Digimon, I would have to say that would be season 4, because very similar in terms of stuff that I was going through at the time. It was just not at a good time in my life where I felt that I could have brought so much more to Grumblemon than I did. And, it is what it is.
No, I get you.
But, and I don't normally watch the shows that I record. It's very rare that I actually have the time to be able to do that. But from what I remember about the show and the way that it was written and kind of like the suspense thriller whodunit type thing, very well written. Yeah. Patrick wrote all of the episodes. To my knowledge, he wrote all of them. So he was very much in conjunction with everything going on with that show. And what's funny about that, I could be remembering this wrong. I don't think I actually auditioned for that. I think he just, based on the work that I had done previously, said, hey, want to bring you in, see if this is a character that you can do. And obviously he liked it enough that, I got to continue for the rest of the season. But yeah, so.
Great anime.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it sometime. Is it available somewhere on Netflix or?
No, it's hard to find. Viz Media discontinued the license.
Yeah.
So you have to at least find some website. Yeah, no one has rights to it. They only have 12 episodes.
Okay.
If you can find it.
Oh wow, only 12. And I know there's more than 12.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
They split it up, but then it's a rare collector's edition.
Wow.
So yeah, good luck finding it. It's expensive.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Moving on. What's it like working on Love Hina?
Oh my gosh, Love Hina. Well, for a lot of you guys that are out there, you're not going to remember Three's Company. That's something that I grew up with as a kid. And Three's Company is my correlation for anime to what that show is about. Where you have a guy, a very likable guy, bumbling idiot type of guy, does his best, gets himself in very awkward situations with the girls that he's living with, and to not make something sexual, like the girls will always find a way to make it like, it's like you're thinking this even though he's not really thinking that, and he'll wind up in these situations where he gets kicked and flies like hundreds of feet and then falls down somewhere else, or, gets hit with swords, or something. So it was an extremely fun show to work on, because I haven't done a lot of anime that are really mostly based on humor. And a lot of Keitaro's role in that is like the comic relief. I mean, I never watched the show either, but from what I remember about it, there are some serious stuff that the girls have to deal with. But he kind of brings that comic relief to it, so it kind of makes it lighthearted in a way, where it's not as serious. That was a blast to work on. I don't know how many seasons we did on that, but I know it was more than 2. And then there were about 3 movies that went along with that. And it was just, a quirky, kind of funny guy. Yeah.
Oh, that's old school, man.
Yeah, it is old school. It is old school. Same with, do you know the show Mahoromatic?
Yes.
Mahoromatic, one of those also kind of underground anime type
Yes.
things. In my opinion, very well written anime. And especially if you like the whole android sci-fi type of reality thing, great show to watch if you guys have never watched it. And Suguru is the character that I played in that. It gets emotional at times because of the content, but if you've never seen it, watch it. Great show.
All right. Next show. What was it like working on Kill la Kill?
Oh, Lord. Kill la Kill. Well, one of the shows that I didn't have to audition for, but never expected to do what I did as far as the role that I did, which is as much a part of the family, the core family, as anything else. But, I mean, a dog. I played a dog. And, the only lines that I had were basically barking my name, and the challenge in that is that even though the dog doesn't say anything necessarily, trying to find the emotion behind what the dog is saying to make it believable as a dog, as much as you can make that believable. Cute dog. I understand very expensive to try and buy a plushie of that from Japan. That's really all that I can say about the show, because I never worked with any of the other actors. Whenever, just so for you guys, if you aren't aware, as a voiceover actor doing anime, anytime you go in and you record, it's very rarely with the other members of the cast that are in the show as well, unless there's a scene that requires all of that connectivity going on at the same time. So I'm in a booth by myself for 2 hours, maybe more, depending on how many lines I have, but it's usually the 2 hour minimum. And I'm not told anything about the story. I just go in, I see the lines that I have, I look up and memorize each line individually, and then have to forget about it as soon as I remember it, because I have to go on to the next line. But it requires that type of ability to be able to look down at a line, try and memorize it word for word, look up at the screen, match the mouth flaps, move on. We get paid so little for what we do, it's ridiculous. That should be, technically speaking, as an actor, much more challenging to try and do something like that than to just voice act without having anything to look at. Yeah.
All right. Funny question now. If you can be any character you have played here in real life, who will you be, and you can mix and match?
So if I was to play a character that I voiced from an anime in real life, who would it be?
You can mix and match.
Interesting. That's a... Wow. Once again, it's like picking your favorite child. As far as living the life of that character, okay, very underrated show. I think it was not a show that ever was on Netflix. It went straight to DVD. Oh my gosh, and I'm not even going to blank out on the title too. This is crazy. Wow. Okay. Well, let's see how much you know. So this show involved basically a community of younger adults who all worked together. They tried to do a modeling show that was all about modeling. And this one particular character that I did, it's going to kill me now that I can't remember the name of the show. But he was like this punk dude. And he was one of the better sewers that was in the group. You know it, don't you? It's like...
Is it Paradise Kiss?
Yes!
I knew
Thank
it.
you,
Yes.
thank you. Yes, Paradise Kiss. I don't have a lot in common with the character, but to live in that character's shoes, who is a nice guy, but it's like never judge a book by its cover, because to look at, he looks like he is just a badass person and you do not want to mess with him. And he's got like this heart of gold. And to be able to, I guess, live in his shoes for a day, that would be really, really interesting. Yeah. Thank you for remembering that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Great show if you guys have never seen it, Paradise Kiss. Yeah. Also one of those underrated shows.
Yeah. Those are the ones I like.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, now it's time for us to get back to the mainstream stuff.
Yes.
What was it like working on Bleach?
Bleach. Bleach was, since you already asked the question and I had to choose, Uryu, the one gripe that I have about the show is where they ended it. When the manga had so much more after that in terms of storyline, and they never even got to it. Especially with Uryu's character. Because he is a supporting character, he's not a main character. But the further you get into the manga, you start going more into Uryu's backstory of being a Quincy and his relationship with his dad. And they touched on that a little bit, but they never really got into in depth in terms of why those two never got along or why they started having more differences. That's just one of those, things that you wish you could. But with that said, it was a really different show as far as the characters, the storyline, the whole Hollows thing, and introducing that into an anime. I'm not sure if it's ever been in any other anime before, or whether this was like a first time that they actually introduced like this type of a world to the people. But it was interesting in that respect. I always equated. I always equated it to like the anime version, but with a twist of Harry Potter.
Yes, I like that one.
Love the opportunity to play these underdog characters who, the more that the story grows, the more you find out about him. You don't know everything about Uryu in the beginning. Like in the beginning, he's just a mean person. He doesn't give anybody his attention. He's very closed off. And it's not until, the kids get to know who he is that he kind of opens up to everybody. So there's this other side of him. Great one to play. Did not have as much vocal challenges as Johnny had, where he had to basically scream, I think, through almost every episode that he was in, but still a really good show to work on. I had a lot of fun doing it. Like I said, my only gripe is that we didn't get to complete it, where they decided to cut it off and then the manga kind of picked up.
All right, so now it's time for the video game question. What was it working on Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, sweet. So, Kingdom Hearts, for those of you who may not know, I, as an actor, like to bring a lot of celebrity voices into what I do. Kingdom Hearts was one of the shows where I actually got that opportunity. If any of you guys know Rocky Horror Picture Show, then you know that there's elements of Frankenfurter that are in Vexen. And Vexen was just an evil dude to play. I mean, as far as, there's no moral quality to him whatsoever. He's just bad. There's no niceness that comes out of him later. He doesn't turn to the good side. He's just mean, evil. And from what I understand in terms of the game, extremely hard, difficult character to beat, unless you're able to do some really fast mashing. But had a lot of fun being able to do that. I this was one of those shows where I, who don't watch a lot of anime, was introduced to something like this where I could, where I got to interact with celebrities who I actually got to meet, who were part of the show because it's the Disney crossover into anime type of thing. And so a lot of people who know the Disney stuff got into the anime because of the video game, because of the introduction of some of those characters. I originally auditioned for this video game. A lot of video voiceover actors, they have booths, you know, like in their home, and they can just record out of there. They've got great equipment, sounds good as far as the quality, all that stuff. But as far as when I was asked to audition for the show, I didn't know going into it, but after I had already found out about the role, I was basically I was auditioning against over 700 other people for the same role. And I did not have the same equipment that everybody else had. My quality was less superior, but still did it. And it's one of those. It's one of those shows that I had a lot of fun with. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So is there anything else that's coming out that you can't talk about, or anything else you want to plug in at this time?
I would so love to tell you guys about something that hasn't come out yet, but unfortunately, I can't. I know. But it's gonna be great. It is currently on Netflix. The third season, when it comes out, will be awesome, and there's a character that I play in that, which is to die for. Probably one of the better roles that I've actually recently had an opportunity to do. Stuff that's coming up.
It's fine.
Yeah, nothing offhand. Yeah.
We'll wait for next time.
Yeah.
All right, now we come to our last question.
Yes.
And we ask this to all the voice actors. Any Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media for the fans to contact you?
Yes. So I am becoming more consistent in terms of the fan book page that I have, which is Derek Stephen Prince -voice actor. DEREKSTEPHEN PRINCE, all separate words. But if you go there, that's the one that I use the most in terms of media for Facebook. You can like the page. Once you like the page, then you'll know of all the stuff that I'm currently doing in the voiceover industry.
Hey, you're in the way. Okay, I'm gonna cut that.
So like I said, the best way to contact me is through the Facebook page. Just like the page. And if you ever want to post anything or you want to ask me a question, that's probably the best medium to do it. Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Well, we want to thank our fans for tuning in for another episode of the Ohio Guys. I'm Christian Ocampo.
And I'm Derek Stephen Prince.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.